And if you weren't here on the last stream, I was working on this set of electronics for a customer. He has a controller. It's the Pokies 57 CNC controller. And we had to diagnose why it wasn't spinning the motors. And we found out that everything was actually pretty good. It was set up correctly, but we couldn't get any power, and it was because of the what do you call it? The e-stop. The e-stop was connected directly to the power supply, and it was not permitting us to get any power to the motors. So we had to diagnose that, and we got everything to work. All the drivers were working, all the motors were working, and now what we need to do is make it work with a brand new computer. So the customer purchased a computer specifically for this. So I'm going to be setting it up completely from scratch. I have not opened this computer yet or unboxed it. So here we go. That will give me a good indication of how well my instructions work. Looks like the customer had his password right there. So he may have to change that if it's viewable on the stream. I'm guessing this is the power. Yeah. I was actually going to make the stream yesterday, but we had a hurricane go through. All right. Let's see. Maybe the customer's already put in the software. All right, let's see if it turns on. Where is the power button? Here we go. Okay. All right, let's see. Yes, he's already installed some things here, so that's good. All right, I'm going to go connect it to the Wi-Fi. Okay, let's see if I can get the camera in a way that you guys can see it. This is my second stream that I've done, and lately at least. So I'm still kind of getting used to streaming and understanding all of how everything works. So I apologize for any hiccups that I might have and my nervousness. Already starting to get nervous. Let's see if I can keep this from turning. Okay, so let's see what it tells me on my website here. So this is the controller. Let's see, step 1. What do I need to do? Okay, so it doesn't really have any instructions. Let me see. So it looks like I'm going to be making instructions. Yeah, I do have instructions in video form, but not really in the web page. Hey CNC, how's it going? My latency is a little bit less this time since I learned how to do it through Joey Does Tech. So to recap, what I'm doing here is setting up the computer, his computer, for the very first time. It worked with my computer, as we found out from the last video that I did, or the last stream I did, but I think he was having trouble making it work with his computer. So this is the attempt to connect the Pokies with this computer or his computer. And that's really all he wants to do now, is just set up his computer, and if it runs the motors, if it turns the motors, I may check some inputs as well. And if that works, then he says that's good enough, and he'll take it from there. We had a hurricane go through yesterday too. I was actually planning on doing the video yesterday, and the hurricane got pretty close. I'm in the Tampa area, and we had power outages for about 6 hours. So I'm glad I didn't do the stream yesterday. All right, so let's see. There's also a couple of announcements I want to make at the very end of the stream, because I'm going to kind of announce what I want to do in the future, like with the streaming and how CNC relates to that, and also the microcontrollers, and how I'm going to try to take the microcontroller side and connect it with the CNC side by actually programming a microcontroller to work with stepper motors. And I've done this in the past, and it would be nice to be able to show how that's done using just a bare chip. All right, so it doesn't really give me any good information on my website on how to connect this controller, so I'm going to wing it. And I said this prior, I do have instructions in video form, but it would be kind of crazy for me to show a video of myself on the stream, so I'm going to wing it. I haven't done this in a while, so hopefully I'll be able to get it done. So first I want to check to see if the plugins folder has the right plugins for it. So I'm thinking he's going to use Mach 4. And last time I checked on my computer it was Mach 3. So that's a difference there too. All right, let's see. We've got a lot of stuff here. Let's see. Well, we don't have the Pokey stuff, so that's the first thing we need to do, is download the plugins from the website. Here we go. Yeah, he had it. Looks like this is the 3rd version. So let's go ahead and look at it. Let's see, where would that be? Okay, the plugins are these 2 files here, and I don't see them in the plugins folder, so yeah, so he didn't do that. That could have been the reason why he couldn't get it to work. Okay, so they're both in there now. I could always go to the manual if I have a problem, since the manual is right here. So I'm gonna try to do whatever I can without the manual and see how I do. All of this stuff, all the electronics had to be moved quite a bit, so hopefully I have everything still in the way it was. In the last video, I think we were testing the different drivers. So I have this one disconnected. We had the issue where the plug for the motor wasn't actually connected. So I'm going to go ahead and connect this back. They should be both, yeah, they both have the same dip switch settings, so they're going to be acting in the same way, so that's good. So I'm going to put the connectors back where they were on this one, and nothing is plugged in. Yeah, that's not plugged in. Okay, so this one is the Y, and this is the plug that works, the one that is connected. I'm still trying to get into my groove in my streaming. I get a little bit nervous. I need to get over that. So I think just doing more streams will help me, just like doing them maybe 3 times, 2 times a week, and just getting in the groove. All right, so this one is right here. Is there a reason the controller board is just floating in there? I know that's how you got it. Yeah, I talked to the customer. He doesn't want anything else done. I think he wants to do all of that himself. I think it's an issue of cost, just how much I would charge him, because this is by time, and I think he just wants to do it himself, and that's fine actually. I would encourage that, because that will give the customer an intimate knowledge of everything with the controller, with the electronics. So as much stuff that he can do himself is probably better in the long run. And I still have my Junior Mints box here, so it's not making any connections to the inside of the cabinet. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I still think I need to, figure this out, the whole stream and breathing and everything. So yeah, I mean, I've been on YouTube for 17 years. It's weird that I'm nervous, but I think it's because it's live. I mean, I've been on YouTube more than probably 90% of people, 90% of other YouTubers. but I only have like about 400 plus videos on the channel. I took this off of the cabinet, so it looks like his previous controller was a parallel port, like they used to use in the 90s and early 2000s with the CNC, when parallel ports were still around. Thanks, Scott. I appreciate that. Junior mints. I got a comment on the junior mints. Somebody else likes junior mints. That's the only candy I can actually eat. I can't eat anything else because everything else has milk, and that's the chocolate that doesn't have milk. I guess they use semi-sweet. I gotta check out your stream, CNC. When do you make them available? All right, let's start up Mach 3 or Mach 4. Actually, I'm gonna turn the machine on first, the scary part. Everything in this garage has been moved around. I had to put a Hobie cat in my garage. I did a lot of moving today to get ready for this live stream. That's a good sound, I guess. So I just plugged in the computer, or the electronics. I see green lights. I haven't plugged in the controller yet, so let's do that. Oh, you know what? I want to power the controller from an external source, so let's put that back. And I'm going to turn off the electronics first before I do that. You know, CNC, we should probably do a collab maybe. A collaboration. All right, so this is the jumper for external power. So let's see if I got that right. I should say EXT there and USB, so I can power it from the USB or I can power it from these wires here. So let's go ahead and turn it back on. And I should see some LEDs show up when I power it up. And that's the same thing we got last time. Now, I incorrectly thought that red light was a fault. So I'm going to plug the cable into the computer. There's no change in the LED status. It's still blinking the same way. Let's see if I can get a better view for you guys. All right, so I'm going to start the Mach 4 loader. Let's see, let's try just the mill. I could create a new profile. I'm like at this crossroads now. That should I do it or should I not do it? I'm going to go ahead and try doing this, because you're supposed to get a screen in the beginning that tells you that you're plugged into the pokies, and it gives you some options for the first time, and it looks like it's not there, so still the same status. Oh, this is a different screen. Let's see. Usually there's a jogging. Oh, here it is. Okay, nothing is happening. Well, because I don't think I have the jog. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm also thinking about putting some notice on the website too when I get a little bit more comfortable with doing streaming. Where I know I have generally there's a button that enables jogging, but I don't see it, so I'm going to stop this. I'm going to try the other way of making a new profile, because I don't see that initial window showing up. I'm not sure what I have to do here, because I don't think I've done a profile brand new before. Let's see, maybe a mill. What do the other ones have? Oh, I can't edit this profile. Okay, well, let's keep going. Looks like I'm going to have to start the... Okay, yeah, I'm going to have to set up a screen. It doesn't tell me what it's using though. Maybe the blank one. I'm going to look at this first. This is kind of cut off here. Let me see if there's a problem with the display settings. Scale, that's probably what it is. That's better actually, but yeah, it's more full screen anyway. All right, that's much bigger and much better. Oh, thank you. Thanks, CNC. I do have the manual right here, so I could just look at that. So winging it may not be the best thing I should do. I mean, this would be something that a customer would want to do anyway. But usually when I'm putting something together like a video, I usually just use the step-by-step guide. Getting familiar. Let's see, let's just go from the beginning here. Well, no, wait, let's see. Basic configuration. Mach 4 setup. All right, let's go to Mach 4 setup. Okay, so I did this. Connect the Pokies 57 using the USB. When Mach 4 opens, a welcome screen from Pokies. See, I didn't get that. That's the thing. So that's why I was trying to create a new profile. I mean, it could be just because I don't have jogging enabled. And I remember there was a jogging enable button that I could use, and I can't find that for some reason. You can also see the DRO is not changing when I press on these, but I could maybe, all right, it still has these weird cut off menu names here. You know what I could do? I could try, where is the MDI? Here we go. I can from the controller. I mean, I've made some videos on Mach 4, but I haven't, like, I don't use it often, so I'm kind of rusty in it. So it looks like it did move, but it's just not plugged in, or it's not communicating with the plugin or the. So I'm going to go to Configure Plugins. Let's see if I can do this. Yeah, look at that. It's not even shown. Did I go to the right plugins folder? Maybe he's got 2 versions or something in it. He didn't load it in here, so that's good. Actually, I can just look at this too, where this is going. Yeah, so this is the one. This is the one that I put the plugins in. Let me check the location again. Mach 4 Hobby plugins. Or did I just close it? Mach 4 Hobby plugins. Yeah, that's the right place. All right. Let's go ahead and try to do a blank one. Create a profile. Yeah, the sort by, I think it doesn't really matter because I just looked at where this was located anyway. But it still comes up with this, which is weird. So there's something going on here. I don't think it would be the USB connector. You know what? I'm gonna actually here. Let me see. Let me try this. Pokies has its own program to detect the board and do some settings on it. So it does have it here. I'm going to connect. Okay, so it does. It has the 54130, which was the 54130. So that's correct. Commercials. All right, I'm going to go back to like 100% scale. It might be hard for you guys to see, but I can't see the whole the whole screen. Okay, here we go. This is what I'm looking for. All right, I'm going to unselect the HID. This is something they recommend. Yes. Okay. So I guess I just get out. I have no idea what this load status is. The pulse engine I should be able to potentially control. Oh my God. Okay, so jogging, x-axis, limits. Yeah, it shows pin. That's interesting. All right, I'm not familiar with this screen at all, so that's why I'm not knowing how to navigate this. Yeah, I'm still getting this strange warning. I'm going to reinstall. In fact, I'm going to install Mach 3 and then maybe I'll reinstall Mach 4 just for sanity's sake, I guess. Yeah. All right, software, Mach 3. This is sort of just a test to make sure everything works. Let's see, download Mach 3. Shouldn't take too long. This is a pretty small program. Let's open the file. Yes, I agree. Next. And if we can get it to work with Mach 3, we know we have no problems getting it to work with Mach 4. We don't need the parallel port driver. LazyCam, that's an interesting piece of software that they don't actually, I don't think Mach, the Mach folks or Artsoft recommend using that program. It's an old program. It works, but it works for very simple camming tasks. Let's see, finish. Now I need to get the plugins for Mach 3. I'm going to put it in the Mach 3 folder. I'm just going to copy it in the clipboard and then put it into the plugins. All right, got it. Okay, so the first time I start Mach 3, it should give me that window saying that I have the Pokies plugged in. Oh yeah, you know, that's funny because a lot of people, when they sell their controller, they include a Mach 3 license, which is no bueno. I don't like that at all. And if I buy controllers to sell in my company, I will throw away those CDs because it's not fair to the company. So it was automatically configured with the default settings. All right, so this should be good. Let's reset. Okay, emergency button pressed, so I need to invert that. So let's go to plugin control, configure, pulse engine settings, and invert. So now I should be able to make it work. Yeah, that's good. Now I may not be able to move. Oh, I am. It does work. Okay, let's go over to that motor and show the moving. Every time I use this Sony A6300, it stops recording. You can see when I press the record button, the picture comes a little bit more with more contrast, and it's a little bit clearer. It doesn't have as much noise, and it stops recording at about 28 minutes. So I need to figure out a way around that. I don't know why a modern, relatively modern camera would just stop recording. All right, so let me show you the X. So that's working. All right, now let's check the Z-axis. I'm going to try not to move the Z-axis so much that I'm going to ruin the mechanical system here. Where's the page up and page down on this computer? Okay, here we go. Function, is there a function? Yep, that worked. It sounds kind of funny going in one direction. That's just the mechanical setup, I think. All right, and then do we dare plug in a Y-axis? I say we dare. Let me turn off the system. Oh my God, really? There's a limitation due to an agreement with the EU? That is crazy. Yeah, there's a way I learned to get around this limitation, but the software is now not available online because I think my camera, even though it's the alpha and it's a Sony, it's an older version. It's a 6300, and that doesn't exist anymore, or it does, but it's in a GitHub repo, and I have to figure out how to make that work. All right, so like last time, I'm not going to be using this one, and I talked to the customer about this, and he was like, yeah, he did this for some reason. I can't remember what it was, but he says he'll put that back together. I don't need to test that. All right. Okay, so let's try the Y-axis. All right, I'm going to go ahead and spin it. Let's see if it works. Okay, I have to restart Mach because I turned the system off, and it is not working. None of it is working actually. The X isn't working. The Z isn't working. I have torque here, so it's getting power. What did I do differently? All I did was plug this in. Okay, let's see if I'm still in the plugin. No, the plugin didn't activate. Let me go back to showing this. So the plugin is not showing up in the plugin control, so I have to configure the plugin here. I have to turn it on. I'm not sure why it didn't stick, maybe the way I got out of it or something. So I'm going to start it over. I'm going to start it up again. I'm not really sure what, maybe the connection. I know there's one of those pins is not sticking all the way through. Okay, now it shows me this, which is interesting. I don't know why it made that change. It's still not working. All right, not detected. Interesting, that's weird. Let's delete this and then restart Mach 3. Controller still shows a blinking LED on the left and a solid red on the right, which was normal according to what we were doing before. All right, so it should show me that pokies thing again in the beginning. Yeah, this is good. Okay, it says not detected. All right, I'm going to, yeah, maybe the USB went to sleep. I don't think it would be that. I'm going to unplug the USB. I'm going to unplug the whole system again. Maybe it was the order of operations. Just plugged it back in. Plug in the USB again. The status looks the same. Still says not detected. That is really strange. All right, let's see what the Pokies program says. Okay, that's connected. That had no problems. I'll try a brand new profile. Use the default profile values. Press OK. All right, let's select the Pokies. I don't think it needs to initialize. It usually just works right when you plug it in. I agree to the terms. Oh, the screen looks a little bit different. By the way, to get out of this configuration, what I usually do is I make it full screen, I exit, and then I go back in. Sometimes that changes the screen and it makes everything the right size. I do not agree. I press the do not agree. I agree. I'm not going to. It's supposed to remember the last state, but maybe it's the way I got out. It didn't work. Oh, well, let's try it in this scenario. All right, now I should have it. It didn't connect, so let's go ahead and configure plugins. Press OK. Maybe what I need to do is I need to delete it again. So it should remember that I at least enabled the plugin. Inline interface, I don't really know how. Okay, it still says not detected, so that's weird. So let me, I'm going to delete this again, reset. The only thing I did differently was plug in the other motor, right? I can't think of anything else I did. Yeah, I have witnesses. All right, so I know it's not going to work because it didn't give me the e-stop. Oh, wait, look at this. Oh, I need to add a new one. I thought it worked for a second. Okay, so no devices are found. Maybe that's the problem I was having in the Mach 4. I'm going to reset the whole computer. Thanks, Scott. Yeah, keep watching because I'm having a problem. And I generally don't have these kinds of problems when I'm putting machines together. All right, I'm going to turn the system off or unplug everything. Let all the energy dissipate. I'm going to disconnect this motor again, start from there, because I know it was working, and this is a known unknown. These are the known variables, I guess. Generally, you wouldn't have a problem just by plugging in a motor, but if it causes some kind of EMI, then there could potentially be a problem. And there are like wires going all over the place in this box, so that very well could be the issue or an issue. So by plugging in a motor, you're drawing current from the driver, and that will produce EMI, especially when there's, you know, coils involved. All right, so just for sanity's sake, I'm going to reset the computer. All right, let's try it again. I'm going to plug everything back in. I unplugged the motor. The driver has its lights on. Start the Mach 3 loader. Use the pokies, which I just created. And I need to add the one that is missing. And it still says no devices found. This is very strange. I'm going to go back to making it operate through the USB rather than the power being used by the USB and not this external power supply. I don't think this is going to matter in any way. I just plugged it back in. Still no devices found. All right, I'm going to go again to the pokies here. So we have the serial number is 54130. That is the same one that is shown on the card. 54130. Let's see. I wonder how long this long test is. I can also do the connect disconnect test. Okay. I guess that's good. I don't really know how to decipher this. Okay, well, I guess that worked. Okay, let's connect it. Maybe there's a firmware issue. I feel like something on this window I can use. There isn't any way to, I guess, test the axes. For some reason, there's no buttons or anything. Okay, so everything seems to work there. All right, I don't see anything. Update firmware. Let's try that. No. Okay, it's the same one. So it's updating it to the same one. I don't know why it's even doing this. Maybe it's, if there's an error with the existing one, it can update it with the same one. It's going to take a little while. While it's doing that, the machine doesn't really need to be plugged in. And I'm thinking about also disconnecting this driver, the Y driver, because this is something that I had in the beginning that was not connected, just so I'm working with the same variables that I did before. Never do this with the power plugged in. All right, so we have the X and the Z still connected. So it says upgrade error, cannot enter bootloader mode. Huh. I wonder if it has to do with me disconnecting it. Starting bootloader, waiting for bootloader. A bootloader, if to add some more context, is a program that's already loaded on the microcontroller, and it is just like a regular program that you would write for a microcontroller, but what it does is it allows the microcontroller to work as a device that can accept communication, like upgrading the firmware through the USB. If it didn't have a bootloader, you'd have to access the JTAG or programming pins of the microcontroller, depending on the microcontroller. It could be SPI or other types of communication protocol. You'd have to program it that way. A bootloader allows the chip to be programmed through the USB, and the bootloader may do other things, but that's generally one of the things that it would allow you to do. And it still says that it has an error, cannot enter bootloader mode. So there's definitely something wrong with this controller. Something is going on with it. I am going to unplug it. I'll probably look at the board to see if I can see anything visually, that could have caused this problem. But what I want to try to do right now is just let it rest, let it reset, and try it again. Of course, I took the cable out while I was in this program, but I don't think that really matters. All right, so this is probably enough time. Let's plug it back in. All right, I was also using Mach 3, so I'm going to go ahead and do that again. Let's turn on the machine. Let's try to add it again. Yeah, no device found. All right, so I think there's something wrong. Thing is wrong with the actual controller itself, the Bokies 57 CNC controller. I'm going to go back into the Pokies. It really shouldn't take this long waiting for bootloader, so I'm thinking it's going to have a problem again. I'm going to try it with my computer again just to see, because I was able to get it to work with my computer. So I'm going to get that one set up. Still said the same thing, upgrade error. All right, let's see what happens when I try mine. Oh, it says upgrade was successful. Huh, I was wrong. Okay, let's try it again. That's interesting. I wonder why I did that. Bringing you back to the computer. It still doesn't show devices found, so I'm going to try my computer and see what happens. Actually, let me look in device settings. Maybe the USB port is not right, not working well or something. Wait, that wouldn't be the problem because it was able to do the upgrade. So I'm going to turn the system off. Come on. Except for my fingerprint. All right, let's try the loader here. I was using the Pokies that I set up last time. Let me turn it on. It's not plugged in yet, so let me plug it in. It doesn't show it here. That's not good. Not detected. It's doing the same thing it did on the other computer. So, why isn't it detecting it? I'm going to try a different USB cable just in case. I don't think it will make a difference, but I know it's not the computer, so I can stop using my computer and try the other one again, or go back to the other one. Let's try it again. No devices found. I think I may have to change the controller, and I'm probably going to contact the manufacturer to see if there's something that I'm missing. The controller power in the box, does the Poki need it to function? It doesn't. I set it to USB, so it works off of the, instead of the external, see if I can focus this better. Instead of working off the external connection, it works off of the USB connection instead. It's weird that I had it working and then it just stops working all of a sudden. That's not very characteristic of this controller. It could be also my not thinking straight because of a stream, my nervousness of because of the stream. So I'm not like really thinking deeply enough to figure out what's going on. If I were not doing it on stream, what would I do? I would probably disconnect everything, and I'd also disconnect these wires too. Make sure they're not going to be touching each other because they would, cause a big problem. And then disconnect all of the cables. So let's do that. It's not plugged in, so I'm not getting any power from the power supply. Okay, Now I'm going to also disconnect the driver connections so they won't be influencing anything. I do have these inputs connected to the inputs, but I don't think that's going to be a problem. There's only one way to find out. Let's go ahead and plug it in. And it's set for USB power and communication, so that should be fine. All right, that's different. Now it's fine, yeah, because there was the middle LED didn't show up at all, but maybe maybe it did and I just didn't see it. Okay, let's try it. All right, let's actually I want to restart Mach 3 in the session. I'm going to keep it at Mach 3. I mean Mach 3 mil. Still has the same problem. It is weird that I have no devices found, but it shows up in the pokies right here, 4130. Unlock. Oh, wait. Okay, yeah, I want to turn off the Mach 3 while I'm doing this. I think I may know the problem. Connect, go to device, no, pulse engine, and it was locked settings. Oh, look at that. I've got I have 3 engaged homes. And this is weird. The 3 engaged homes, that's odd. Invert emergency polarity. I think I did something here earlier in the stream that I may have messed it up. That's a beep I haven't heard before. Still nothing. All right. Initially I thought this was going to be a very easy setup, and it's turning out to be not so easy. Enable pulse engine. I didn't make any changes here. All I did was change the, okay, so it's definitely communicating. I'm able to communicate, make changes. It was showing that there was an emergency. And I inverted it, and that's generally what happens when you first put this together and not have an emergency stop connected to the board. All right, let me stop it. I'm going to lock the settings. What if I unlock the settings and get out? I think it automatically locks. Let's go back in and see. Yeah, it's automatically locked, so that's normal. But this concerns me, these engaged homes. Yeah, that's weird. Cancel. And I don't think it would be a Mach 3 issue, but I'm going to uninstall it anyway. I don't think it's actually part of this. Yeah, it is actually. Uninstall. This would normally be like a last ditch change I would make. Finish. Hey CNC, yeah, you missed a lot or nothing. We're still in the problem where it doesn't detect the board. It detects it in pokies in its own program, but when I start up Mach 3, it fails. It doesn't detect the board anymore. So I'm doing something that I would normally never do, and that's reinstall Mach 3, because I've already gone through so many different things, like trying to upgrade the firmware that was successful after being unsuccessful many times. Just to show you what I see, you can see that it's detected that it connects. You can see that the serial number is 54130, which is correct. Pulse engine, it works. There's nothing wrong with this part of it. So when I try Mach 3, it says no board can be detected. So I'm going to reinstall Mach 3. Okay, so let's download Mach 3. Uh-oh, my battery's low. So in other words, it's not really cooperating. Oh, it might use like a FTDI or some way that it converts a COM port to USB, but because it works in the Pokies software, there's no reason why it can't be detected through Mach 3, to my knowledge at least. And it also didn't work with my computer. So that's another thing I did. I actually tried it. I tried using my computer like I did last time, and it still didn't work. So I'm well, I guess that would mean that a new version of Mach 3 probably wouldn't work anyway. But why not try it? So this is probably the last thing I'm going to try, and then I'll go get to some of the things I'm thinking about for the future of the stream. And I'm probably going to contact the manufacturer and see what's going on and see if they can give me any recommendation. Plugin control. All right, let's go to, oh wait, I don't have the plugin yet. Oh, it shows this though, that's weird. Oh, maybe it didn't delete the plugins folder. Let's restart it. Yeah, I did. Yeah, there was no new firmware, but I wanted to upgrade the firmware to its existing version just to make sure that there wasn't any corruption there. Okay, let's see. All right, that shows up. Add new. This is where it says it can't detect. Yeah, no devices found. Let me see if Mach 4 detects it. Okay, let's go back to configure plugins, add new. It's going to say the same thing. Oh, it found it. Huh. Oh, looky there. All right. This is something we didn't get to in the last time we tried. All right, we're not using the post steps. We're using the other. We're not using the po-pendant or LLCD. Let's see, what limits and homes? I would say, I think it's going to be one home limit per axis. One home and one limit switch per axis. Yeah, I don't think they're separate. I think they're the same. Okay, so I'm going to select the first one here. You guys can't see this, can you? I know, you're probably seeing those aliasing lines. Sorry about that. So the one home / limit minus switch per axis. So the limit minus would serve as the home as well. So I'll just set that up. I can always change it later if I need to, or the customer can if he wants to. And the emergency switch is normally closed switch. I think I need that inverted at the moment. So Let's check that. Yeah, let's see, home switch A, the home tripped. Interesting. So I can configure this. Let's see if I need to, yeah, invert. So it did invert it, that's good. So it looks like the home switch is tripped, which is weird. Oh, you know what? Let's see if anything is, so these are disconnected. They're not connected to anything. Oh, let me turn the machine on. Oh wait, I don't have anything connected. I disconnected all of the ribbon cables just to see if it would work. So jogging. Oh wait, no. Oh wait, there it is. The keyboard. Look at that. This is what I was looking for before. I don't know why I didn't see it. It's the keyboard input enable. That's what I was looking for. So let me go ahead and plug in everything in the machine, in the electronics. There's a lot of glare in here, isn't there? I have an overhead light that causes a lot of glare on this surface. All right, I'm gonna disconnect the controller and plug these back in. So X is the first one.